How's it going? I'm Lance, chilling with Behind the Pump, and we're here for the integrity-driven Texas's Best Shoot, where we're showing Texas's most motivational stories that we could find. And first up, we have Holly Ann, who's a military wife who really battled a ton of depression, weight gain, and while her husband was away at all his deployments. So Holly, I just want to turn over to you. And we had talked a little bit before about you were married for 4 years, and then these deployments start happening. I just want you to start there. 9/11 happens. You're on active duty deployment. Start there.
First, I never thought that we would be that family. We didn't live on a military base, and we weren't like your typical military family. We were a civilian family with a daddy that went to school or went to work in a uniform every day. And 9/11 happened, and you kind of in your gut, this is what's going to take place. And it happened, and we had our first deployment, and I had these little kids, and just as my husband had his duty to protect our freedoms, I felt it was my duty to make sure that everything was taken care of at home, that my kids were happy, that they weren't scared, they weren't worried about daddy. And in that process, I forgot about Holly.
Right.
I took care of the house, I made sure my kids were happy, I made sure that he knew that everything was fine at home, so all he had to do was worry about his job overseas so he could stay safe. And along those lines, I just quit taking care of myself. I quit doing little things for myself because it was all about my kids. And I didn't even know that I was doing it.
Right.
I wasn't even aware of it. And
well, and you're in your position there. You're now the leader of your household. So a lot of what I'm hearing is you're pushing these emotions down, and you're just going through your day the best you can, and just making sure you're only there and only thinking of your kids and your husband.
I 100% became a robot, but nobody would have known because I put a smile on my face and made everybody think, family, friends, coworkers, that I had this. I was strong, that it's okay, we've got it, we'll take care of it, no problem. But inside I was dying. It was hard.
What were your nights like?
Horrible. They were horrible because they have you pick people that will notify you, and a lot of times you'll pick friends in the military, and every night you will go to bed and you wonder, is tonight the night I'm going to get a phone call? Because a lot of times it does happen at night. And I have a specific memory where I had a package delivered by UPS at 9 o'clock at night, and my doorbell rang. Sorry.
I'm getting chill bumps too.
And my kids were in bed, and my doorbell rang, and I stood up and I froze. And I never walked to the door. It took me an hour to make it to my door. So I thought, if it just doesn't ring again, that it doesn't mean that they really don't need to get a hold of me. It's not them. And fortunately it wasn't. It was just JCPenney's delivering a package. But in that moment, it was something that I never wanted my children to feel or experience. And every single night you went to bed and you just prayed that tonight was the night that I was going to wake up the next morning, and there was going to be no phone call. There was going to be an email from him telling him he's okay. And we just kept moving forward, and every day and every night was like that.
And how long did this go on until you found fitness?
We had 3 back-to-back deployments.
And how long are these deployments?
Anywhere from a year to 18 months long.
A year to 18 months. I think that's just unreal for, with my daughter. If I'm gone for 2 days without seeing her, it breaks me. I couldn't imagine, one, you have you, and then, your husband, he's got to be stressing as well over that, which is...
But another one of our jobs is make sure that they know everything's okay. So we send pictures, and we do what we need to do to make sure they're okay.
Right.
Their emotions are in check, because they have a huge job, and their emotions being in check makes them safe and makes their men safe.
So while all this is going on over these years and years of these deployments, what is your lifestyle like? Like, how are you eating? How many times? What are you doing at work? What's your lifestyle like?
I went from an active, on-the-go mom wanting to be this amazing example to my kids and a healthy lifestyle, to a woman that ate whatever her kids were eating, sat and watched movies with her kids. It was all about my kids, and it was all about my job, and it was nothing about me. I lost me. I didn't know that I'd lost me because I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was doing my duty to my country and taking care of my family.
Right.
And before I knew it, I had gone to the doctor, and found out that I'd gained 45 pounds.
45 pounds, and you didn't even know. Like,
No, but you just keep buying the pants with elastic and and you pretend the big shirts and everything covers up, and you see it in pictures and you ignore it, and it wasn't a priority. My priority were my kids and my husband and my house, and taking care of what I needed to do there. And when I went to the doctor, my husband had just gotten back from Afghanistan, and it was shortly after, I think, my 40th birthday, and he's 168 pounds. I was floored. I was like, I can't, Holly, I'm not one to be 168 pounds. I'm not mom. I'm not that person doesn't care anymore. And I came home and decided I was going to put my shoes back on and started walking, and it was hard as hell to walk 2 miles, but I kept doing it because every single time I did it.
How old were you when you started doing this part?
40.
40. So this is just 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So you had to go through this, this many years to get to this point. Now in your story too, you came up, found out you had a stomach bacteria. It was eating away, and this had, I'm sure, a lot to do with the stress you were under. And like you said, you just figured the pain was just stress pain.
Depression. I thought it was depression. I was a sad person. I was a depressed person. I was that person. You see those commercials with people hold up a mask and just smile. That was me. That commercial was me. Nobody understands the depth of depression until they have to live it and fake it. And I thought that I was sick all the time because it was part of the depression. They wanted to treat me with antidepressants, and they wanted to treat me with medication, and nothing worked. And when they finally found it, it was the same day that I had gotten on the scale and realized I was 168 pounds. And I had to go through this horrible treatment. It's called H. pylori, and it's actually a stomach bacteria that causes stomach cancer. And don't know how I got it, don't know how I was exposed to it, but I did. And it weakened everything in me. And so...
Well, along with the stress, your body's already weak. Along with not taking care of yourself, along with not eating right, along with not sleeping right, all these things you're going through. I mean, it's just like a culmination of this is why you need to change your life. So you're at the pinnacle. Everything's starting off. You're starting to walk 2 miles a day. What happens next for you?
The amazing feeling that I got, that without medication, just going for these walks, it became my medication. It became my drug because I started to feel better. The endorphins kick in, and you get back home and you're like, I can tackle the day so much better. I can smile with it being a genuine smile. And it evolved, and I started walking more, and I was doing crazy, like 100 miles a month, and then I started running and doing marathons, and then I started boxing. I went to Title Boxing, and the empowerment that I felt from Title Boxing and exercising and turning around looking, oh my God, I've got muscles. That's kind of cool. And it's an indescribable feeling when you take time for yourself and invest in yourself and understand that it's okay to be selfish, because in the long run you're doing something good for everybody around you.
Right.
And I had a trainer there come to me and say, have you ever thought about competing? And I honestly thought, no, there's no way. I'm old. I've had kids. There's just no way. But I did end up meeting with 2 coaches, and they told me, you're way further than you think you are. And within 3 months, I was on stage.
Wow.
I mean, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
So I want you to just back up just a little bit. So you're still going through the same things. Like your husband just left for another deployment just now. So you're still going through the exact same things, but now you have this outlet. And so it's, what's crazy to me is you're telling me your story right now, and you're telling me how I was so sad all the time, I can't sleep, and now you're not really saying that. You're telling me how excited you were about these things and these things. How did it help bring your mind off of the gym? Like what part of that, or bring your mind off the deployment, what part of this helped you to do that?
Mind is always on the deployment. You always still have the same worries, but when you're taking time for yourself and you're making yourself stronger inside and out, you're able to handle those emotions better. It's when you put yourself in a closet per se and want everybody to believe everything is okay and you're not dealing with those emotions, is when you lose yourself, is when you become unhealthy. I walk into the gym, I see my friends, I come in there, I put effort into myself. I could be having the worst day. I could have woke up in the worst mood, have the worst concerns, and go in there and put it into the gym, into me, and come out knowing that I'm stronger, mind, body, and soul. And the best part is I'm a good example to my kids.
So on that note too, you train, you go through all these things. You start with walking, and then title boxing. Now you compete. Now you're doing a show. What was it like when you got on stage, and then what was it feeling like when you got off stage and got to see your family?
Getting on stage, I was really, really excited. I did horrible. I mean, it was one of those moments that I can't say that I was sad, because I walked on stage, and just 3 years before, I was 168 pounds,
Right.
wearing stretchy pants, sad, depressed, a shell of who Holly was. And I walked on that stage, and I not only showed myself, I showed other women, I showed other military wives that taking care of yourself has amazing results. And even though I did horrible, I got off stage, and the first thing I said was, when is the next one? I wanted to do it. I fell in love with the process. I fell in love with the feeling. But my son came to me and he said, Mom, he said, if you can come off that stage, as hard as you have worked to get here, and not have one, but still be smiling and be ready to do the next one, how can I ever tell myself I can't do something? And right there, I even said, that's my win. I don't need a medal. I didn't need to walk off that stage with a placement or a medal, because I had won by telling my child that no matter what life throws at you, no matter how hard it's been, what you've been through, what people tell you can or cannot do, if you put your mind to it and you invest in yourself, it can happen. Hi, my name is Holly Walker, and this is my story.